Hello, data folks. Thanks for joining me again on this channel for data and IT professionals. In our previous video, we explored data vault modeling and learned how to design hubs, links, and satellites using practical business examples. In this video, we'll cover the key concepts of Entity Relationship Diagram, ERD, including the different types of entities, the various types of relationships between those entities, cardinality, and Crow's foot notation. So, what exactly is an ERD? ERD stands for Entity Relationship Diagram. As the name suggests, it represents the entities involved in a business process and the relationships between those entities. Most of you already know that the tables are referred to as entities, and the columns in those tables are called attributes. That being said, the real goal of data modeling is to understand how different entities relate to each other. For example, in a retail hypermarket business, the main entities could be customers, products, suppliers, orders, and order items. These entities interact with one or more other entities based on the business process flow. For instance, customers place orders. Orders contain order line items. Each order line item represents a product. Products are supplied by suppliers. And all these interactions form what we call relationships. Now, when we work on large real-world projects, there are many stakeholders involved. We have business users, project managers, solution architects, software engineers, testers, and many others. We need a common way to represent entities and relationships in a simple, easy-to-understand graphical form. Please take a look at the sample data stored in these tables. Now let me ask you a simple question. Can you clearly understand all the business relationships just by looking at these? You can probably identify the entities involved, but you cannot confidently tell how they are related to one another. All right, let's look at something more technical. The create table statements, or DDLs, used to define these tables. Now, let me ask the same question again. Can you clearly understand all the business relationships from this information? The answer is still no. In fact, it becomes even more difficult. The DDL contains a lot of technical details that are irrelevant to many stakeholders. This clearly shows that we need a better and more visual way to represent entities and relationships. And that's exactly where entity relationship diagrams come into the picture. Take a look at this ERD. Notice how clearly it shows the entities involved and the relationships between them. We'll discuss each of these symbols and relationship notation shortly. Even if you're not familiar with all the symbols yet, you can still start to understand how the entities are linked together. But what is more important is that ERDs provide a common language that can be understood by all project stakeholders, both technical and non-technical. Designing and documenting these diagrams in the early stages of a project streamlines the process, improves overall success, and reduces a lot of rework later in the development and testing phases. Now that we understand why ERDs are important, let's look at the different types of entities and relationships, along with the symbols used to represent them. These symbols are standard across the industry, and having a clear understanding of them is essential in any IT or data-driven project. Now, when we talk about types of entities in data modeling, they're generally classified into three types. The first type is a strong entity. A strong entity is an entity that has its own primary key and does not depend on another entity for its identification. For example, in our retail system, customer, product, supplier, and order are all strong entities because each of them has its own primary key. The second type is a weak entity. A weak entity does not have its own primary key. Instead, it relies entirely on a parent entity for its identification. For example, let's say we store a customer's confidential information, such as passport numbers, SSNs, and tax IDs, in a separate table called Customer Sensitive Info for security reasons. This is a weak entity because if a customer is removed from the system, the corresponding Customer Sensitive Info record becomes completely invalid and must be deleted. Similarly, a customer address table is also a weak entity. We generally split addresses into a separate table because a single customer might have multiple addresses, but those addresses cannot exist in our system without the customer. The third type is an associative entity. An associative entity is used to resolve a many-to-many relationship between two entities. For example, in our retail system, a product can be supplied by multiple suppliers, and a supplier can supply multiple products. This clearly forms a many-to-many relationship, which creates design problems if we do not introduce a link table to break it. That link table is what we call an associative entity. Another good example is the order items table. This is an associative entity that breaks the many-to-many relationship between orders and products. If associative entity feels a bit confusing, you can check out our video on many-to-many relationships. It's available in our data modeling playlist linked in the description. And these are the standard notations used to represent each of these entity types. A strong entity is represented using a single rectangle. A weak entity is represented using a double rectangle. An associative entity is represented by placing a diamond inside a rectangle. Next, let's break down the different types of relationships and their corresponding notations in an ERD. Before we look at the relationship types, we should first understand what cardinality means. Cardinality refers to the number of rows in one entity that can be associated with each row in another entity. While this may feel a bit confusing at first, the concept is actually very simple. To understand cardinality, we only need to remember three possibilities: 0, 1, and many. These are represented using three different symbols: a circle for 0, a vertical line for 1, and three connected lines that resemble a crow's foot for many. By combining these three possibilities, we can represent all relationship types in an ERD. Let's start with a simple example between customers and orders. Whenever you look at a relationship, focus on one side at a time and ask this simple question: what is the minimum and maximum number of records that can be related to a single record on the other side? Let's start from the customer side. What is the minimum number of customers a single order can be associated with? The minimum is 1. Likewise, what is the maximum number of customers a single order is associated with? The maximum is also 1. This gives us a cardinality of 1 and only 1 on the customer side. Now let's move to the order side. What is the minimum number of orders a single customer could have? Well, there could be customers without any orders, so the minimum is 0. What is the maximum number of orders a single customer could have? It can be as many as he or she wishes, so the maximum is many. This gives us a cardinality of 0 or many on the order side. When we combine both sides, we get a 1 and only 1 to 0 or many relationship between customers and orders. Let's take another example involving orders and order items. Starting from the order side, what is the minimum and maximum number of orders a single order item can be associated with? We all know that an order item is tightly connected to only one order. This gives us 1 and only 1 on the order side. Now let's look at the order item side. What is the minimum and maximum number of order items a single order could have? Well, each order should have a minimum of 1 order item and a maximum of as many as the customer needs. This gives us 1 or many on the order item side. When we combine both sides, we get a 1 and only 1 to 1 or many relationship between orders and order items. Using the same approach, you can model relationships between any number of entities in your business domain. At this stage, I recommend pausing the video and validating the relationship between customer and customer-sensitive info. Check it against what I have given and let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments section below. Look at this symbol. It appears in many places throughout the ERD. An interesting part is that it looks a bit like a crow's foot that we used to draw as kids, doesn't it? That's exactly why this is called crow's foot notation. So far, we have been working at the entity level, which makes this a conceptual data model. We can further develop logical and physical models by adding attributes, primary keys, foreign keys, and other details. The good part is that the same entity and relationship notations we just learned are also applicable there. That's all for today. If you found this helpful, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. And as always, please share this with your network. It really helps us bring more useful videos your way. Thanks for watching.